When you die, are you going to heaven or not? You can know for sure. heavenornot.net.
Why didn't we do this last year?
Before you were preventing migraine with Qulipta?
And look at me now. You'll never truly forget migraine, but 0 migraine days are possible.
Don't take if allergic to Qulipta. Most common side effects are nausea, constipation, and sleepiness.
Qulipta. I forget you get migraine medicine.
Tomorrow on ET, Mel B on her AGT return. We're with her and the Fantasy League judges.
Yes, plus Hollywood's Party of the Year. We're getting Golden Globe secrets from host Joe Coy. Sunday's Globes on CBS is going to be good. Newly named presenters include Amanda Seyfried, Angela Bassett, George Lopez, and Will Ferrell.
And by the way, before we go, we have an exclusive first look at how Jason Momoa is taking TV cameras on one wild cross-country road trip. Would you road trip with him?
Yes.
Happening now.
A massive delegation of House representatives are here in Eagle Pass. That includes the Speaker of the House. Coming up, what their visit's all about.
And he's the front runner in the Republican race for the White House. Former President Donald Trump fighting to keep his name on the ballot in 2 states. Why that fight may wind up in the Supreme Court.
We've got another chilly and damp day on deck for tomorrow's forecast. But don't worry, I promise you the weekend weather is going to look much better. Those details coming up. The News at 5 starts right now.
First at 5, late-breaking news from the KSAT newsroom and the San Antonio Fire Department. Within the last hour, multiple sources have told KSAT 12 that Fire Chief Charles Hood is stepping down from the department following an investigation into inappropriate comments he made about women. In a memo from City Manager Eric Walsh to Fire Department personnel, the memo says that Chief Hood, quote, admitted to making comments that are vulgar, disrespectful, and demeaning to women.
The memo went on to say that, quote, this conduct would not be tolerated. Hood, by the way, has overseen the department since being sworn in 2007. Walsh's memo says that he plans on meeting the command staff and also naming an interim chief by the end of next week. Now, again here, sources here telling KSAT 12 that Fire Chief Charles Hood is stepping down after an investigation into comments where Hood admitted to making that were vulgar and demeaning to women.
We have tried to reach out to the fire chief. We have not been successful as of news time. Continuing to work on this story. We'll keep you updated on air and online at KSAT.com.
In other news now, a 6-year-old is dead. A woman that's related to that child is the suspect, and she's now in custody.
Yeah, the scene is south of 410, off 35, headed towards the Von Army area. Our John Paul Barajas is there, was just briefed by police. John Paul, give us the very latest.
Okay. Hey, Steve, we're getting kicked off the property right now. We're getting kicked off the property, but we were just told by police that a 6-year-old girl is dead. A female family member is the suspect and is in custody. They did not tell us the exact relation between the two. Now, they said when they first arrived here on scene at the Frontera Crossing apartment complex south of 410, headed towards Von Army, that it was a chaotic scene. They didn't get into too many details about what that chaos was, except for the fact that it was between family and neighbors. They also said that female suspect, the family member, she was naked running around outside at the time of all that chaos. As for what reason, they did not tell us. They said she went into custody without incident and is talking to them. They have not told us what those conversations have been yet. They said that's now all evidence. As for the manner of death in this 6-year-old's death, they don't have much information. They said it's still undetermined. They did say that there is trauma to the torso, but that is the only thing they would tell us. We asked if there was any weapons, guns, anything else, possibly drugs. They said that they could not answer any of that at this time. And put this down real quick. They said they cannot answer any of that at this time because it's still an active investigation. They said currently everything inside the apartment where the 6-year-old was found is now going to be a crime scene, and they're going to have to go in there and investigate everything. They're waiting for a search warrant. That way they can execute that and get in there and try and get more details about what exactly led up to the 6-year-old's death, why that woman might have been naked running around outside at the time of this death. But again, lots of questions that are yet to be answered. We'll stay on top of this story and bring you the latest. John Paul Barajas, KSAT 12 News.
John Paul, thank you for that. And we also have more late-breaking news. This time, it's out of Washington, D.C., where the Department of Justice has followed through on its threat and has filed a suit against the state of Texas over Senate Bill 4, calling it clearly unconstitutional. Meanwhile, if you're looking at the video right there, that exactly is what leaders along border towns are pointing to when they tell the public their resources are pressed. As thousands of migrants want to cross the border into the U.S., city leaders are begging the federal government for help.
Today, at least part of the federal government came to the border. It was U.S. Secretary of State Anthony Blinken in Mexico last week. Today, House Speaker Mike Johnson making the trip to South Texas and calling the crisis at the border a catastrophe. Johnson and about 60 of his fellow Republican members of Congress in Eagle Pass today.
That's also where Daniela Ibarra was. She was with them when they arrived. She joins us now live from the border. Daniela, what did they say?
Well, Speaker Mike Johnson said his visit here was eye-opening. He says that he got to see that migrant crisis, the impact it has on border communities like here in Eagle Pass. They had a press conference to talk about everything that they saw and everything they want to accomplish. But during that press conference, everyone's attention shifted about 100 feet away to the Rio Grande. I want to show you this video right now. This is video we shot during that press conference. You can see a group of 5 migrants wading through the water to come to this side of the border. 3 of those migrants, you can see, they're kids. One of them, a little girl who was wearing pajamas. Now, once the group got to this side of the border, Border Patrol took them into custody. Now, this congressional visit, it comes during a time where the number of migrants crossing isn't at its peak. On Monday, officials say 500 people or so crossed into this sector of the border compared to 4,000 just 2 weeks ago.
Situation here and across the country is truly unconscionable. We would describe it as both heartbreaking and infuriating.
Now, while this delegation was here, they visited the Border Patrol facility. They also talked with local sheriffs, they said, and people who live here in Eagle Pass. And next week, Eagle Pass is expecting another federal visitor, this time the Secretary of Homeland Security, Alejandro Mayorkas. And coming up at 6, you'll hear from Speaker Mike Johnson about what he says the federal government needs to do next. We're live in Eagle Pass. Daniela Ibarra, KSAT 12 News.
Daniela, thank you. Now, days into the new year, police in Fredericksburg are looking for the person who killed a 48-year-old man at a convenience store. The Fredericksburg Police Department says that these are the photos that you're looking at of the suspect. They posted them on their Facebook page. Investigators say the suspect walked into the Quick Check store on South Highway 16, walked into the back of the store, put on a white skull mask, which is what you see there, and then shot a man. That man, who's been identified as Arthur Cortez, died. We're told the shooter also took cash from the store clerk before leaving. If you know anything about the suspect that could help police find that person, call the Fredericksburg Police Department. Their number is 830-997-7585.
More images now that police would like you to take a look at. New at 5, San Antonio police detectives releasing images of the suspect who followed a man off a Via bus and shot him multiple times. Take a look at your screen. Do you know who this is? Police back on the afternoon of December 4th say he and the victim got into an argument while on board a Via bus. When the bus stopped at the corner of South Zarzamora and Merida Street, investigators say the victim got off and so did the suspect. Police say he shot the victim, then took off running. The victim taken to the hospital with life-threatening injuries. Detectives are asking for your help in identifying and locating that person. If you know who he is or where police can find him, you're urged to call Crime Stoppers, the number 210-207-7867. You do not have to give your name or identify yourself.
So now here's other video that we want to show you. San Antonio police are looking for the 2 people. You're about to see them on that Ring doorbell camera. The pair allegedly, they crashed a stolen vehicle into a home on Sandstone Way near Sulphur Springs Road. Happened earlier this afternoon. The people inside the home at the time of the crash, they're okay. We spoke with a man who says that he confronted the pair after the crash and then he noticed something. They had a gun. And he's going to tell you what happened afterwards on the news at 6.
Former President Donald Trump's ballot battle is heating up. He is asking a Maine court to overturn the Secretary of State's decision to remove him from the 2024 primary ballot in that state because of his role in the January 6th insurrection at the U.S. Capitol.
Washington correspondent Julia Benbrook joins us now live with details on Trump's removal, his recent appeal, and also his next steps. Julia.
Well, good evening from Washington. We do have some breaking news this evening as well. We'll get to those details on that Maine appeal, but we are learning from sources familiar with the matter that former President Donald Trump is appealing the Colorado Supreme Court's ruling as well. That appeal is big because it goes to the United States Supreme Court, and that decision could impact any of the states that are challenging his eligibility. But we do want to break down that main challenge as well. He's fighting these battles in multiple areas, and here's some more information on that. Maine Secretary of State Shenna Bellows, a Democrat, says that she has a legal obligation to remove former President Donald Trump from the ballot in her state. The decision is based on a Civil War era provision in the Constitution that prohibits anyone who engaged in an insurrection from holding office.
Certainly, it's unprecedented for a Secretary of State to deprive a presidential candidate of ballot access under Section 3 of the 14th Amendment. It's also unprecedented for a presidential candidate to engage in insurrection.
The challenge to Trump's eligibility in Maine was filed by a bipartisan group of former state lawmakers.
January 6th, when I sat and watched that take place, it literally made me sick to my stomach. And I felt I had to take some action.
Trump denies that he engaged in an insurrection. And in his appeal to a Maine court, he argues that Bellows is a biased decision maker and did not give him adequate time and opportunity to present a defense. A former Trump lawyer emphasized that Trump has not been charged with criminal insurrection.
If he had been, we have a burden of proof that they would have to make. Right to compulsory process, right of confrontation, jury trial right. I don't think we want to use this amendment in this case to circumvent those safeguards.
While only Maine and Colorado have voted to take Trump off the ballot, several states have debated Trump's eligibility based on the 14th Amendment. And as we mentioned off the top, Trump is now fighting to keep his name on the ballot in Maine and Colorado. That Colorado appeal goes straight to the U.S. Supreme Court, and a Supreme Court ruling on this could decide the matter for all the states challenging his eligibility in this way. Reporting in Washington, Julia Benbrook, KSAT 12 News.
Cloudy and chilly today around San Antonio. The high temperature, you're looking at it, 51 degrees right now. Cloudy skies, but there's a few peaks of the remaining sun that we have out there. Temperatures will be cooling into the mid 40s by midnight. It's going to stay fairly cloudy. Now, as we look at the weather headlines, we've got a lot to talk about in the forecast. Chilly tomorrow, but it will turn damp. In fact, by the evening commute tomorrow, it could be messy in many places. At least we've got to look forward to a beautiful weekend ahead. And then finally, this is an important one. I want to talk about how it's going to be very, very windy early next week. You might want to take advantage of the beautiful weekend and remove all of those remaining Christmas decorations outside because of those winds. A lot to unpack in the forecast. I'll have those details coming up.
Thank you, Sarah. Let's check out traffic right now. And we're going to I-35 at Laredo. You can see a lot of traffic on both the upper and lower decks, and I-35 at New Laredo also. Giving you just a look at some of the different areas around town. No major traffic tie-ups to tell you about.
And that's a good thing, especially considering it's 5:10. All right, so let's go all the way back to the morning, right? When many of us wake up, we wake up jonesing for that hot cup of coffee, right? And we know the disappointment when it gets cold. Coming up, you're going to see some products that keep your cup of joe from losing its steam. It's after the break.
I'm Myra Arthur with a look at what we're working on for the news at 6 o'clock today. New year, new load of cases headed to trial in Bexar County. We break down the biggest cases to watch in 2024. Plus, vapes don't look like a pack of cigarettes, even if their users are supposed to be the same. We talked to local schools about whether they think new restrictions on e-cigarette marketing could help curb vaping problems in their schools. And San Antonio is one of only 7 cities in the entire country and the only one in Texas to get this, a gold medal for its public health policies. At 6, what categories scored highest and which ones need some more work. That and more coming your way in less than an hour.
Thank you, Myra. When it comes to coffee, there are 2 camps. Those who drink it cold, others who take it hot. If you're the latter group like Stephanie, you know how disappointing it is when your warm coffee gets cold.
Yeah, just not good. Now, technically, you can zap it in the microwave, but, that kind of changes the flavor. You don't really want that. So 12 on your side's Marilyn Moritz tells you which products can keep your coffee hot the longest.
Sarah Wallace needs her coffee every day, all day.
I drink like 4 to 6 cups a day.
And this is her favorite mug.
It's cute, but more importantly, it keeps it warm.
Consumer Reports tested insulated travel mugs to see which ones keep your brew hot the longest.
So one of the interesting things we found in our tests is that some of the better known brands like Yeti and Starbucks fell a little bit short of the competition. They'd be beautifully designed and styled, but their lids would allow heat to escape or liquid to spill.
Coming out on top, the Zoji Rishi for $28. Keeps drinks piping hot for 13.5 hours. That's 6 hours longer than the closest competitor. The Thermos Stainless King costs less and keeps drinks hot for 7.5 hours. Then there's the Takaya Traveler at 6.5 hours. If you like to brew a pot of coffee in the morning and enjoy it throughout the day, you want a coffee maker with a carafe that keeps the coffee hot for hours. Top rated for coffee makers with a glass carafe is this Cuisinart touchscreen 14-cup programmable. If you prefer a thermal carafe, CR recommends the Technivram Mocha Master KBT. For what it's worth, testers found that after 1 hour, coffee was hotter in a glass carafe on a hot plate than in a thermal carafe. Marilyn Moritz, KSAT 12 News.
All right. Important stuff, especially when it's cold out.
I guess, yeah. I guess we could call that timely. You want some hot coffee? Today'd be a good day in the morning, I guess.
Yes, and tomorrow's going to be very similar to today, except tomorrow we're going to add on a little bit of dampness too. Some areas of drizzle, especially in the evening commute, as a lot of the kids are heading back to school for the first time tomorrow. Again, that's our main weather headline, is that it will continue to be chilly tomorrow and turn damp in the afternoon. But at least we'll be rewarded with a beautiful weekend ahead. And we want to give you an early alert here that it is going to be very windy. Some of the strongest winds we've seen this season early next week. Here's a look at today's clouds and temperatures. Interestingly, San Antonio and the Hill Country and points to the south and east stayed cloudy while it was fairly sunny out west toward Del Rio. And you can really see that in the temperature difference, right? 67 in Del Rio, but 51 here in San Antonio. That is a big temperature difference. Feeling like spring out west and feeling like winter here in San Antonio. It's 50 in Bulverde, 50 in Helotes, only stayed in the 40s in Bernie, in Bernie area, temperatures stayed in the 40s all day long. As we take a look at your KSAT 12-hour forecast tomorrow, some patchy fog early tomorrow morning. We'll be in the mid-40s, staying cloudy all day. It isn't until after lunch, though, that drizzle will start to develop, and that'll continue into the evening commute as well. Our high tomorrow in San Antonio only going to be 50 degrees, and then after the drizzle, we'll have areas of light rain in the overnight hours as well. So staying damp through the evening and into the overnight hours as well. Early tomorrow morning, bundle up. It's going to be chilly, especially up in the Hill Country and out west, where it'll be in the upper 30s. 45 in San Antonio, 41 in New Braunfels, and we're only going to warm up by a few degrees because of the cloud cover and the dampness. 54 in Pleasanton, 50 in Del Rio, 49 in Kerrville, 52 in New Braunfels, 50 in Bernie, 51 in Castroville, and 52 in Nixon Smiley. As far as rainfall goes, not as much rain as we saw yesterday. We may only see about 1/10 to 2/10 of an inch of rain. So very, very light. Drizzle, dampness, that's about it. But at least we're going to have a nice warm up into the weekend. Highs will be in the mid to upper 60s on Saturday and Sunday with low humidity. So very nice weekend, and you'll want to take that weekend to prepare for the windy conditions expected Monday through Tuesday. This is a look at the potential wind gusts. We could see potential wind gusts of up to 45 to 50 miles per hour. So yes, the lightweight Christmas decorations should probably get put up, but I also want to mention trampolines, make sure they are secure. Make sure any lightweight carports are secure as well. take this weekend, beautiful weekend, to prepare for those gusty winds Monday and Tuesday. With the gusty winds comes another opportunity for some rain on Monday, just a few showers and storms possible then as well. But if you missed out on the rain yesterday, hope you get a little bit of that rain in the form of drizzle and light rain tomorrow and tomorrow night.
It's a hold on to your hat Monday.
Oh my goodness, it is. We haven't seen wind gusts like that in a while.
Yeah, your hat, your inflatables, toupee, whatever. Hold on to it.
Your anchor hair.
Your anchor hair. Well,
yeah, hold on.
I'm not worried about that. Aquanet, maybe.
Yeah, that takes care of that. Yeah. Terrible for the environment, but does the job. So, whatever happened yesterday with the Spurs, that can't happen for the rest of the year.
It
can't continue to happen.
No, and it's really hard to put a finger on, but once again, it was a close game until late in the third quarter when the Grizzlies just opened it up. It was another bad spurt for the Spurs. Wemby doing Wemby-like things, and Keldon Johnson just trying to do his best to remain positive. And James Peoples from Veterans Memorial High School is an All-American, and he is loving it. Coming up.
So special. I mean, he's been with me since my freshman year, and just to be coached by my coach for one more game is just amazing, a blessing, and it's a good way to leave San Antonio with him coaching me. So it's a blessing.
Veterans Memorial running back James Peoples will get to play in the All-American Bowl with his high school head football coach right by his side. That's Robert Irvin in Big Board Sports. San Antonio Spurs opened up the new year with a 108-96 loss at the Memphis Grizzlies last night. Victor Wembanyama did his thing with 20 points, 7 boards, and 4 block shots to go with this crazy three-pointer in the third for the lead. Now, Keldon Johnson came off the bench again, and he scored 19 points, including this huge throwdown. His role has changed recently, but he's still doing his best to remain upbeat.
Yeah, just try to stay positive. I keep preaching that every day. Whenever you guys interview me to my teammates, just try to stay positive. I'll be myself, uplift my teammates, and do what my team needs me to do to win. So, I'll keep bringing the energy regardless of the outcome of the situation, and keep being myself, keep being a leader for the team.
The Spurs will host the Bucks tomorrow night at 6:30 at the Frostbank Center. The Alamo Dome is getting ready to host the 2024 All-American Bowl, consisting of the top 100 high school football players from across the country. And one of those players is Veterans Memorial running back James Peoples, who signed with Ohio State. Peoples will wear number 20 and play for the East Side. Peoples rushed for more than 1,000 yards and 10 touchdowns his senior season. Now, this game is loaded with 5-star and 4-star recruits. Peoples is a 4-star recruit himself and a game changer, and now he's going up against the best of the best high school defenders.
Yeah, these guys are good. I could tell that when I was running inside run, these guys, they move faster. So, you got really let blocks develop and stuff like that. But, I mean, even in the one-on-ones, you're right. I'm not no stranger to, of course, talent and stuff like that. But it definitely made me kind of step up my game in a way. So these are all good guys, good players.
People's high school head football coach, Robert Irvin, is an assistant for the East squad. Pretty cool. The All-American Bowl will kick Saturday at noon at the Alamo Dome, followed by the San Antonio Sports All-Star Game at 5 p.m.
Plus, just the atmosphere of the Alamo Dome is so cool.
It is.
Yeah, for all those players.
Yep, they're going to love it.
Thanks, Larry.
We'll be right back.
Alrighty, tomorrow is going to be a lot like today, except we're going to add some rain, especially in the afternoon. Drizzle will develop. That'll continue through the evening into very early Friday morning, but we're going to see skies clear. It'll be beautiful over the weekend, but then turning very windy Monday and Tuesday with gusts of up to 40 to 50 miles per hour.
All right, thank you so much for watching us at 5. We'll see you at 6.
World News is next.